Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, anyone watching. We have moved out of the closed session into an open meeting to hear item 2.1, the approval of the NRMA to install and operate an EV charging station. Are there any questions of officers? Councillor Buchanan.
I suppose the question I've got is that we have to determine costs and fees for other groups within the Shire. What process did we use to come up with a figure of $10,000 rental for the NRMA charging station? And the reason why I ask the question is it's got to marry up with some sort of remuneration that NRMA make, what sort of money they make out of the facility.
Yeah, through you, Mayor. Look, I probably can't quote a specificity around this, other than when the fee was set. It does take into account a variety of circumstances around other such leases or licences, but council often makes interesting, I guess, decisions around nominal amounts for licences or leases. They could be $1, they could be peppercorn and the like, but this is a reasonable commercial rent for that space in this particular area.
Thank you. Any other questions? Councillor Buchanan. Councillor Howard.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Could you explain how this process has gone over two different council terms and the rationale why it has come back to this us body of councillors? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councillor, and through you, Mayor. This matter was first raised close on 2 years ago, and it's been a process that's been running for 2 years. And discussions were held, and an EOI was made way back in April 2024, and the outcomes of that were advised to council not in a formal way through a council meeting, but through council briefing sessions about where they currently were at that stage. And there was support at that stage to proceed with this particular approach. We've subsequently had a new council in November. And we've had a change in delegation since that time in regards to how we handle leases and licences, and all leases and licences, hard to say, leases and licences will be brought back to council for this, and that's how this one in effect has ended up in the chamber as it currently speaks. But it's certainly been an ongoing process for close on 2 years, and there was support under the previous council for this particular approach, and we brought this back through the chamber and with discussion with the councillors to be a position where we've been transparent through all the matters that need to be taken into account to allow council to make this decision.
Thank you. Any other questions? I've got a question, considering it's going to have a big impact in that car park and the loss of car parking spaces. How much community consultation was done with the community and all the businesses around that car park? Yeah,
again, through you, Mayor, or to you, Mayor, community consultation wasn't done on this particular matter. As it's a licence, not a lease, it's not required under the Act. I think I've said to councillors before, under this current council, I think all licences and leases, we would look at better ways to manage that, and it's not something I can correct in this current circumstance. In regards to the demand for car parking spots, we have done a very significant review of how that car park is used, and even at its most busiest times between 12 and 2, probably the maximum use is a touch over 50 to 60%. So it is an interesting position to have, where there are a number of spaces available on an ongoing basis, but all points taken about the concerns of taking away 6 spots for EV vehicles out of a total of 63.
Thank you. Any other questions? No? There's a revised officer recommendation with an extra point on the screen. Does any councillor wish to move that as the motion? Councillor Potter, I'll just get you to read out point 4, which is the additional point to it rather than the whole lot.
Yes, sure, thanks, Mayor. Point 4 reads, notes that the resolution is to be made public. However, the report remains confidential as this matter deals with council business information, being information that would prejudice the council's position in commercial negotiations if prematurely released, as per section 3(1)(a) of the Local Government Act 2020.
Thank you. Is it to be seconded? Councillor McCrickard. Councillor Potter is the mover. Thank you.
Thanks, Mayor. Look, as has been pointed out, this has been a bit of a long process. About 2 years ago, Council identified the lack of electric vehicle chargers being available to the public in Colac. Apart from the Tesla charging units put in by the corporation leasing the Coles complex, there was no other vehicle chargers available. There's a growing use of electric vehicles, whether you like them or not. That's a fact, and it was viewed that to have electric vehicle chargers in the vicinity of our CBD, A, would attract people to stop in Colac, and B, hopefully feed our local businesses and assist our ailing main street, because whilst people are charging their cars, they can go for coffee, they can go shopping, they can get something to eat. So you may not see it, but I think there was some method in the madness of the last council to identify that. NRMA have decided to invest in Colac. That's great. We need investment in Colac. And as I pointed out, not only will these chargers look after our locals, who there's more and more of them driving electric cars, but hopefully will attract people to Colac. They know they can stop and charge their vehicle. They'll go and have something to eat and do some shopping. I am a little bit disappointed with the location of the chargers, to be honest, with the car parks they've chosen. But I think it's a good investment. We need to show the outside world that we're open for investment and entice people here. And I think in the long-term tourism strategy, this will be an asset for the council.
Thank you. Councillor McCrickard is the seconder.
Thank you, Mayor. Look, I've kept a little bit of an eye on the Johnson car park of late, and I've been surprised how frequently it is used. It has surprised me, and I'm quite open to say that. So I certainly support the words of Councillor Potter. I too feel that there might have been other alternative places, but when you really think about it, it's very central, and it does give the opportunity for people to wander around our city. Perhaps if it was located at the Tourist Information Centre, for example, it is a little bit removed from the CBD. So my feeling is that we've come a long way with this over a 2-year period, and now it is what it is. So, thank you.
Thank you. Any other councillor? Councillor Howard.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I must admit, why I've asked questions about coming over 2 sets of different councillors is that I am disappointed in the community consultation. We had a debate just before about community consultation, and I think this is probably was going to be a more important one that should have gone out for a lot more consultation with the business community. However, it is what it is. I'm thankful that we are bringing in the leases and licences into the new council so we can actually make sure that the proper processes and procedures are in place. And I think if you read the monitor's report, that does allude to about good decision making. And I think hopefully we can move forward from this and learn from this.
Thank you. Any other councillor? No? I've got Yeah, something to say on this. I won't be supporting it. Yes, we have to live with decisions of previous councils, and as Councillor Howard's highlighted, decision was made from a council that made a lot of poor decisions and ultimately had a monitor appointed. Zero community consultation, zero communication with any of the businesses. We've even heard from councillors today that look like they're going to support it, that it's not in the right spot. Well, I agree with that. It's not in the right spot. We shouldn't be doing it without community consultation at all, regardless of the poor decisions from the previous council. I do have a laugh. I accept the decision of council. We're going out for community consultation on the awards because 3 people raised a concern with a councillor. This is going to affect dozens of businesses that rely on that car park. That people, if they park in those parks and aren't charging a car, can be fined by local laws officers, Vic Roads and the police. I don't know why council's in the business of building fuel stations. I'm not sure if they're going to whack up a diesel pump for me in the Memorial Square because I've got a diesel car. Whilst, I'm all for electric charging stations like the Coles car parks, a private complex has got several, fully support it. I'm happy for them to build and would be in any private sector. And if council wanted to put some in, they need to be in a better place, like the Tourist Information Centre. So even though the previous council have painted this current council into an awkward corner to support it, there's the report in the confidential section highlights a lot of those things, but that's why I won't be supporting it. And you talk about community consultation, this is going to affect many, many people and businesses, and we could have got feedback that it is fully supported by the community, but we don't know that. It's going to be an impact, and I think we should be getting a lot more money than $10,000 a year as well, so that's why I won't be supporting it. Thank you. Councillor Potter, right, a reply?
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. Sorry. Thanks, Mayor. I've listened to your digs at the previous council and myself. I think this is a valid decision. I think it fits with our tourism strategy to attract people into the CBD and potentially spend money in businesses that are struggling. I did say in my initial address that I was disappointed that those particular car parks have been chosen, but nevertheless I stand by the decision to have an electric vehicle charging unit in that car park. We've heard that it's never chock-a-block, peak times 50 to 60% use, so you're not impinging on car parking spaces, but you are attracting people into this community. Maybe some people don't want that, I don't know.
Thank you. We have the motion before us, councillors. Will now put to a vote. All those in favour, Councillor Potter, Councillor Hudgell, Councillor McRickard, Councillor Duke, Councillor Howard. All those against, Councillor Buchanan, Councillor Schramm. Carried 5-2. Thank you, councillors. I'll move a procedural motion to close the meeting. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Potter. Thank you. We'll now move into closed session to consider item 2.2. Thank you to the public. I now consider this meeting